Okay, now we're going to do Unit 15 review for science. Unit 15 is about the contemporary age. The contemporary age is the time between the French Revolution and the present day, which is now. Okay, we're going to start by talking about the French Revolution. After the French Revolution, the nobility lost their special privileges. Commoners could vote in free elections and participate in government. New laws recognized the equality of all citizens and established the separation of state powers between legislative, executive, and judicial institutions. What you can see here is the famous painting, The Taking of the Bastille, the 14th of July, 1789. The other major revolution that occurred during the contemporary age is the Industrial Revolution. During the Industrial Revolution, production changed from the use of manual labor in workshops to the use of machines and factories. In this picture, you can see some of the factories and machines that we started to use during the Industrial Revolution. During the Industrial Revolution, people often worked long hours and were paid very little money. Something else that we studied about the contemporary age: imperialism. Imperialism is a system in which a strong country controls an empire of weaker countries, which are called colonies. So if we take a look at this map, we can see all of the different colonies that were held by different European countries. In pink, you can see the colonies of the United Kingdom, such as Australia, New Zealand, the Indian Empire, Egypt, Sudan, etc. In green, you can see the colonies that were occupied by France. That includes Algeria, Tunisia, Gambia, and French Indochina. In red, you can see the colonies that were occupied by Spain. That includes Morocco and Sahara. In this color tan, or brown, you can see the colonies that were occupied by Portugal. They include Angola and Mozambique. In orange, you can see the colonies occupied by the Netherlands. Those include Indonesia and New Guinea. In yellow, you can see the colonies that were occupied by Germany. That includes Cameroon, German East Africa. In pink, the darker pink color, you can see the colonies that were occupied by Belgium, such as the Belgian Congo. In light blue, you can see the colonies that were occupied by Italy, which include Libya and Somalia. Okay, now we're going to do the outline that you have in your book to review the chapter. That's on page 184. The contemporary age. We started by studying two revolutions, the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. Later, in the 19th century, we talked about imperial powers and their colonies. In the 20th century, the two major events that we studied were the First World War and the Second World War. The First World War spanned from 1914 to 1918. The Second World War spanned 1939 to 1945. Finally, in the 21st century, we talked about various challenges that we face as a world. That includes globalization and environmental problems. We also talked about some of the advances that have been made in the 21st century. That includes science, technology, in human rights, and in daily life. Okay, Now we're going to look at the sentences that are at the bottom of page 184. It says, copy and complete the sentences with the following words: government, imperial, industrial, peace, privileges, production, proletariat, raw materials, standard transport, United Nations, and Western. Letter A. After the French Revolution, the nobility lost their privileges and common people started participating in government. Letter B. Industrialization improved production, but it also required better forms of transport. And letter C. The proletariat was a new social group that appeared during the Industrial Revolution. Letter D. Imperial powers like the UK and France needed raw materials to manufacture products. Letter E. The United Nations is an association of countries that promote world peace and dialogue. And finally, letter F. Nowadays, people in Western countries enjoy a higher standard of living. That's the end of our review for Unit 15.